Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, February 15th. We are going to talk about emotional eating, food addiction, not being able to eat in moderation, and all the other host of things that goes wrong when your food and your weight gets out of control and the cycle that happens. Um, so back up to, I guess, a couple of weeks ago when I found out that I was going to have to move out of my apartment. And I knew the universe was giving me an upgrade. I knew that was the purpose of it. I just was at that point in time still kind of reeling a little bit about how I was going to handle it, what I was going to do, what all the upgrade involved. And then I realized part of the upgrade was I was upgrading my Akashic record readings and adding more meat to those. And then I'm also thinking, I'm like, oh my God, if I've got to move, I've got to have energy to do that. And so last week I started looking to work on that. But anyway, I want to go back to 2017 real quick. 2017, a friend of mine had started going to a weight loss center, and about a week later, I ended up joining her on that journey. We walked a lot. We were dropping weight left and right, and we both still talk to this day about how great we felt. And we neither one of us have really been able to get back to that place again. And so that was kind of, I guess you could kind of say it was somewhat of a keto diet. Basically, it was restricting the carbs. It was also restricting the calories, but it was also converting your body from burning carbs as energy to burning fat as energy. And that's one of the reasons the weight came off so fast. So that was my first attempt at doing anything like that. And a few months ago, I was like, I'm going to try to go low carb. But all I think I ended up doing was overeating fats and other stuff, and it didn't seem to do me any good. So anyway, long story short, last week I stumbled on a video, and she commented, this, whoever it was, I don't even remember who it was, she was like saying, I'm gonna do meat only for 5 days. She's like, I have got to get this sugar out of my system, and that's the one way to do it, is just to get it out. And then after 5 days, I'll like review and see what's going on. So I was like, you know what, that might be a good idea, because I made chocolate chip cookies last weekend, a week ago, and I bought a bunch of sugared chocolate a couple of weeks ago because it was on sale. And, I treated myself to Valentine's Day 2 weeks ago. We have our HR person, when she started work in the middle of the summer, she regularly brings in crap food like donuts and different shit like that. So I have found myself to the point of where I am eating more bad stuff than I used to. It's creeped back into my life, and so have the pounds. When I started out on that weight loss journey in 2017, I was right about 270. I got down to right at 200. I think my scales at home said like 199 once, but it never got there on the scales at the weight loss center. And then I moved into this apartment in 2018. I had a significant breakup or heartbreak in 2018, 19-ish. I mean, it just like lasted forever. And so there was a lot of that emotional eating that happened, and the weight just kind of kept coming on. Then 20 pounds came back, and then I started working at the title company, and COVID hit, and then some more come on. And so now when I started last week, I weighed right before I decided to get the sugar and the carbs out of my system. I was like right at 250. And I have a doctor's appointment at the end of April, and I'm like, oh my God, she's just gonna shit a brick when she sees my blood sugar, because I know I have been eating things that I shouldn't be. And so I decided, yeah, it's gonna knock everything out. And I struggle with this word, so I'm going to share with you. I hate the name carnivore diet, because that word carnivore to me just sounds so violent. But at the same time, that is one of the ways that you can get sugar and carbs out of your system, is if you're only eating that for a while. I mean, do whatever you want, but this is what I will say. If you've never struggled with emotional eating, if you've never struggled with not being able to eat in moderation, which I don't seem to be able to do that. If you don't have food addictions, I mean, there's like a whole host of words that I can talk about. If you've never struggled with that, then you don't get to have an input on what I'm doing in my life. So I will tell you this. If you do feel like you need to leave me a nasty message, make sure it's a good one, because it'll be the last one you leave, because you will be deleted. It's okay to have a different opinion from me, but again, most of those people that have those strong opinions about people's diets have never struggled with the stuff that like me and my friend have had, and a lot of people in the world have struggled with that stuff. So anyway, I was like, okay, I'm going to try this for a while. I started weaning myself down Friday afternoon or Friday evening. I had some lasagna in the refrigerator and I didn't want to throw it out, so I went ahead and ate the last of that. But I had 2 meals that day. That was just meat, fish, tuna, an egg. And then Saturday I started doing just meat only, and I managed to get through. Well, today's day number 5, so I managed to get through. Monday was a little wacky feeling, but I was drinking a lot of electrolytes and the Himalayan salt in my water to make sure that I did that transition. I never got a headache. I felt a little loopy on Monday, but it wasn't too bad. I was a little short fused and got a little cranky, but that was the worst day. And then yesterday I decided to try something. And a lot of what I learned over the weekend, I've heard of this, I've never tried it really intentionally, is the fasting, the intermittent fasting. I have not dug into the scientific matter of it yet, so I can't even talk about that stuff. But where I'm going with this is, one of the gals that I found on YouTube over the weekend is a girl named Laura Spath, Spath. She was like 263 pounds and she lost like 120 pounds or something in a year or whatever, doing the carnivore diet. And she was so honest about the food addiction, the emotional eating, not being able to eat in moderation. And I was like, oh my God, I totally understand that part. And so I watched her all weekend, listening to what she said and talking about her successes and the things that didn't work for her. And she does a lot of like 48-hour fasts. It'll be a while before I do that. I just did a little baby one. I didn't eat breakfast yesterday morning, but I managed to make it till lunchtime without losing my mind, although I took some food with me at work just in case my blood sugar tanked. It didn't. What I noticed is I just giggled a lot the last couple of days. So that's what I found the most interesting, was getting sugar and carbs out of my system. Definitely lightened me, and it was kind of like a fog had kind of left, to the point of where I just literally, like, I was at the desk and I was a little, I'm not even going to say lightheaded, like my brain was still working, but I was just a little loopy feeling, and I was just kind of giggly. And I don't know, maybe it's because I finally felt like I can do this, it's like, I remember when I was doing the weight loss center and how quickly the weight dropped off and how good I felt. And I just did the transition in 4 or 5 days, and it went relatively well, because the last time, that was the first time I had, and I call it going from gas to diesel. You're changing fuel of what your body uses, from carbohydrates to fat. And I've got plenty of fat to burn as energy, so I can go a long time before I'm going to run out of steam. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about real quick, is go find Laura Spath if you so desire to do some changes. If you find that you do have food addictions, emotional eating, if you have a hard time eating in moderation, and this is one of the things, it's like, I have tried lots of things. I've done a short time of eating like just all fruits and vegetables. I never felt satisfied. I just, and it made me feel kind of loopy and ungrounded. So I didn't feel better doing that. Even if spiritually you're supposed to feel better doing fruits and vegetables only and not animal protein, it didn't make me feel better. So I'm not going to stay on something that doesn't make me feel better. And totally lost my train of thought there. So, I guess I was just saying that I've tried lots of different things. And, this was one of the things I was going to say. Like, I have not had the desire to eat fruits and vegetables for the last several months. And I just can't, and I think part of it is the produce at the grocery store just didn't look that good. It didn't look that appetizing. I would end up getting it. And again, never feeling satisfied by what I was fixing, trying to be somewhat on the healthy thing, but always having some sort of sugar or carbs in my diet that was not helping me out. And I would, I'd come home and I'd eat like this big salad that's supposed to be like good for you. And then I would continue eating for like 2 more hours because I wasn't satisfied. So the one thing that I have noticed in the last, several days is I eat, and when I'm full, I stop. And then I'm not snacking in between, because I'm like I'm not feeling that need. It's like that nervous energy that I was having seems to be gone. And now it's going to be even more gone, because the person that used to come into work that's been gone for 2 months, I've mentioned him before. He came back in yesterday, so he's back to work after being off for a while due to an injury. So it was like after he came in, it was kind of like I went back to the back and I go, I can breathe now. It was like something about having him gone, like really kind of messed me up. So at least now that I know that he's back, something kind of rewrited in my life with that. So, God, I didn't know I was going to get emotional about that conversation. So anyway, I'm just going to say, do your own research. I'm still pretty new at this, but I certainly like testimonials. They mean the most, and Laura Spath and her husband both talk a lot about the things that happened to their bodies in a positive way when they got on an all meat diet, especially, and her mother, who's in like her 60s, the medical problems they had before, and then the removal of a lot of those medical problems afterwards. And as we have all grown over the last 3 years, learning that a lot of the stuff that we were told for so long was wrong, I'm like a little more open to things, because I know the first time I heard about the carnivore diet, I was like, why would anybody want to do that? And so I was very turned off about it. I've had 2 other channels that I used to watch talk about that, and that just was like, at that time, not on my radar. But for whatever reason, this time, maybe this is part of the upgrade. I don't know, because the universe keeps throwing upgrades at me, And so I'm just going to keep rolling with it because obviously they were trying to get my attention, and I guess I just finally got the message. So anyway, again, if you're going to leave me a nasty note, I'm going to delete you. So be sure of that. Don't even think I won't. So have a great day, and go watch Laura Spath, and do your own research, and I will talk to you later. Bye.